2021 has been 3x3's year, y'all. And guess what? We saved the best for last. After the craziest regular season ever, the top 12 teams of the FIBA 3x3 World Tour 2021 fight for 3x3's biggest prize in historic Jeddah, the site of last year's unforgettable decider. We take you on a behind-the-scenes tour of the Jeddah Final and an inside look at where all the magic happens. You thought Karreem Maddox was just a 3x3 world champ? Oh, you better think again. The American star is also an award-winning podcaster. And we catch up with Belgian star Thibaut Vervoort after a dynamic rookie season. Plus, you know you gotta stay tuned to the end of the magazine. We got another can't-miss top 5 plays coming your way. '21 is the year of the 21-point game. You know what I'm about to say. It's quick, it's epic, and now it's Olympic. Mieza says, shh, hush, Riga do it again. They go back to back like a Drake track. There was much more than bragging rights on the line at the 7th Masters of the season in Mexico City, with spots for the Jeddah Final up for grabs. But some things stay the same. Informed Riga went back-to-back with victory over San Juan PCI Group in the final as Carlos Lasmanis moved closer to the crown with his second consecutive MVP. The defending World Tour champs who shocked the world in Jeddah just 12 months ago start out as favorites, but there are no guarantees with all 12 teams in the field legitimate title contenders. The draw features 5 Masters champions in 2021 in what has been the most unpredictable 3x3 season ever, y'all. So who you got in Jeddah? We'll soon find out. Day one had more hype than Spider-Man No Way Home and delivered with a box office opener filled with incredible Tissot buzzer beaters. The favorites were left standing, but just barely, as the world's best teams went punch for punch like Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. Meantime, Red Hot Riga aimed for another W in Jeddah, but faced a mighty challenge from Lausanne Sport, who ain't scared of nobody. Wes Motini, aka King West, was out there collecting bodies in Jeddah, as the unpredictable Swiss smelled an upset. It came down to the wire, but Riga have been here before in Jeddah, haven't they? Move over, Peter Parker. Regular season MVP Carlos Lasmanis is the baddest superhero of them all, and his Tissot buzzer beater ended Lausanne's challenge.
This game should work for us as a wake-up call because we played worst game, I think, this season.
Powerhouse Lehman arrived in Jeddah under pressure, having not won a Masters all season long. But the number 3 seed turned back the clock with an impressive beatdown of Gagarin before facing a tougher test against number 6 seed Shake Gubale. The pumped-up Lithuanians spun a web with their passing, and there were more twists than the ending of No Time to Die as they tied it up at 20 apiece. But sniper Stefan Kojic shut the door on Shake as Lehman eyed redemption after their heartbreaker at last year's Jeddah Final.
We are extra motivated to play here again. Everybody knows how we lost last year, and we hope to go one step further.
Number 2 seed Ub have been statistically the most successful team on the tour this year, and they played like winners with an unbeaten day one. The Serbs shared like they cared to beat rival San Juan PCI Group and Jeddah. It set up a do-or-die clash between the Puerto Ricans and host Jeddah. Jorge Mato set the tone with a filthy rejection. Lausanne Masters MVP Angel Matias once again proved he's a 3x3 miracle worker with a game-high 10 points. And Luis Hernandez, aka Pelacoco, finished things off with a punctuation mark to stun the home fans.
We're gonna give the extra mile every time we step on the court.
Doha Masters champs Amsterdam Talent and Pro dominated Pool D, highlighted by a win over Belgian rival Antwerp. De Meo van der Horst was the Dutch master with 10 points, and maybe he's been inspired by the Beatles documentary, because Dimes was the lead guitar all night long. Antwerp, Lausanne Sport, and Gagarin made it through despite losses, while number 6 seed Schalke Gubale, host Jeddah, Princeton, and Graz said farewell to 2021. Karreem Maddox is a talented dude. His Princeton team may have underachieved in 2021, but the man was out there collecting other silverwares in a completely different field. Move over, Bill Simmons. Maddox is the real podfather as the host of an award-winning series on untold stories of Olympians.
The greatness with Karreem Maddox is the podcast that I produce. You know, the idea behind the podcast was untold stories of the Olympics, right? Because there's all these really great human interest stories, people who have overcome a lot or come from behind or, you know, had it all, then lost it all and got it back or just persisted. And, you know, those are the stories we wanted to tell. And, you know, every 4 years, there's a huge number of Olympians with these stories. And, you know, when I wasn't training for 3x3, I was trying to produce this podcast with, you know, the great teams that I was working with.
He's unearthed many gems, including a truly remarkable tale of German swimming prodigy Sylvia Garish that needs to be heard to believe.
Episode 7 was about a swimmer named Sylvia Garash who swam for East Germany and then ultimately swam for Germany. And she was this child prodigy. She should have been, you know, maybe one of the best swimmers ever. And, you know, she first competed in 1984 when her country boycotted the Olympics. And because she wasn't able to swim that year, she thought, I'd make it next year. Well, she didn't make it in 88, she didn't make it in 92, and she didn't make it in 96, but she stuck with it. Finally, she swam at the age of 31. She makes it to the finals and finishes. You know, you'll have to listen to figure out where she finishes. But it's, you know, this incredible story of persistence and of an athlete just being really good at what she does, but also just being really mentally tough.
When he's not flying to the rim, Maddox is consumed by gripping stories that he just can't wait to share with his listeners.
Producing these kind of like long form narrative stories is really hard work, and it does take a whole team. And one of the most important players on that team is going to be your editor. You know, the amount of hours and time and dedication that they put into it, I'm really thankful for, because it made the show everything that it was. And I think it was really good. And in some ways, you know, they took a lot of the burden from me, because I couldn't have ever done something that good all by myself.
All right, here's a look at the quarterfinal bracket, which features the top 5 seeds plus number 9 seed Lausanne, 10 seed San Juan PCI Group, and 11 seed Gagarin. The first quarterfinal between Riga and Gagarin had more bling than a Kardashian, with 7 of the players doubling as Olympic medalists. After playing in the Tokyo gold medal game, these players will forever be linked, and it was the Russians out for revenge with an early 7-1 lead. Riga needed help, so they turned on the bat signal, and out came Carlos Las Manos, aka Batman. But Gagarin then went on a 6-2 run with Kirill Pisklov heating things up in Jeddah to get the underdogs closer. The champs weren't going to make things easy with Las Manos in attack mode, and both teams had a chance to win this thing. But Dmitry Chiborkin finished it in style. The 11th seed knock out the top seed, if you can believe it. And you thought this was the only upset of the quarterfinals? Oh, you better remain seated. Amsterdam Talent and Pro and San Juan PCI Group have been the Cinderella stories this year, but only one team could advance. In a game filled with stars, it became a mano-a-mano battle between Angel Matias, aka Little Monster, and sharpshooter Arvin Slagter. Little separated the teams, but TJ Fernandez missed at the buzzer as San Juan's comeback season comes to an end.
Yeah, actually, I asked your colleague why he didn't pick Arvin to be here, because he's our man of the match. Big up to him.
Number 2 seed UV had become a power in 2021, but they faced a dangerous Antwerp squad. a breakout team on the tour this year who made a fast start to the hottest show on TV, must-see TV, Thibaut Vervoort. But Strahimir Stojicic, who has gone up a level this season and became the #1 3x3 player in the world, by the way, after the event, kept Oob in it. Nick Sellas had all the answers like Alexa with a game-high 11 points as the Belgians led it 15-8. This wasn't over yet, though, as Stojicic muted Vervoort and then hit the bucket to breathe life into the contest. Vervoort would have the last laugh, though, as Antwerp reached another semifinal, while Oob's amazing season ends in disappointment.
We went into the game knowing this is our final. We played tougher, and we won.
Lehman thrashed Lausanne Sport to set up a semifinal clash with Antwerp, while Gagarin and Amsterdam Talent and Pro meet in the other semi. Riga may have ended the season on a sour note, but they grabbed one last silverware in 2021, with sniper Edgar's Crewmans dominating this Wilson shootout contest. The first semifinal between Gagarin and Amsterdam Talent and Pro had more drama than a Brazilian soap opera. Once again, the Russians started scorching hot to lead 8-1. This looked like a wrap when Damir Chiborkin went aerial, but then the Russians went sub-zero and Amsterdam took advantage with a 7-1 run themselves. Kirill Pisklov steadied the ship, and Gagarin would go on to reach their first final of the World Tour this season. The second semifinal between Lehman and Antwerp, two teams desperate to make the decider, lived up to the hype. It didn't look like it early when Lehman was dominating inside with Mihailo Vasic showing off his brute strength. Antwerp hit back though through must-see TV, but Naboisa Kilian was throwing salt in their game to give Lehman the edge. Vervoort raised the volume and Nick Sellas went to work, and just like that, it was a tie ball game in the last minute. Lehman went to a reliable source and Vasic ate all the Belgian chocolate inside. The Serbs survived. Antwerp, meanwhile, once again couldn't overcome their semifinal curse. But what a debut season it was for the Belgians.
We need just stay focused, play our game and give everything we have. It's one more step till the final goal.
Is Thibaut Vervoort the best thing coming out of Belgium since Stromae? It took him just 1 year to take 3x3 by storm and become the #6 player in the world. 3x3's community vibe has particularly appealed to the laid-back Belgian.
3x3 is like a community or more like a family because once you reach a certain level in 3x3 you always see most of the same teams and same players coming back every week or month. And like bonds are creating like a community vibe instead of really having your own team like a 5-5 and you go play against, and it's a different vibe.
Non-traditional hoops country Belgium achieved something special when they booked the final ticket to the Tokyo Olympics at the FIBA 3x3 Universality Olympic qualifying tournament in Hungary back in June.
The most beautiful moment was the qualification in Hungary when we won the last game for the last ticket for the Olympics. That was the most stressful and beautiful moment in my sports career, to be honest. The emotions I felt then and really talking to the family and really felt like, okay, all these years of playing basketball really paid off.
While Vervoort and his teammates have taken the 3x3 like ducks to water, there are still aspects of the fast and furious game they're still coming to terms with.
Something that helped us really get to the next level is even shorten up the shot clock from 12 seconds to more 8 seconds. Because in the beginning, even in 5-on-5 basketball, you play way slower, you play one ball screen and then you try to be creative. But if you get it back to 8 seconds, you have to move the ball way quicker. And it was about sprinting to the ball, really playing more aggressive defense, box out, and then seal somebody more. But now the thing that needs to be better is like the switching of offense into defense, I think. For instance, against Amsterdam, the thing that they really do very good is not playing that fast, but really slow and like moving their body in the right spaces.
3x3 is known for its catchy nicknames, and Vervoort has one of the most memorable, with must-see TV catching on, even with the man himself. And if you think you got one better, go ahead and slide in our DMs.
My nickname is something weird for the moment, must-see TV. I like this one because when I was young I made like some little jokes on I'm TV, because Thibaut Vervoort and people like recognize it. And for the rest, I heard about Headshot, and I heard about Ant-Man showing up in an article. For me, it really doesn't bother me at all, any of these nicknames, but the one I got most used to now is must-see TV, to be honest.
Now it is time for everybody's favorite segment, the dunk contest. And we had a loaded field with defending World Tour dunk champ Peter Grabowski against the previous two Masters winners, David Carlos from the Philippines and American Brandon B. Ruffin, who lit a fuse on his debut in Mexico City. Disaster struck to start the semifinal for Air David, who was left grounded after laying a goose egg. B. Ruff had the highlight of the semis with a nasty reverse slam over a volunteer, but things went way up in the final. The American started with an insane one-handed slam off the catch and threw in a celebration to boot. No extra points for that, though.
One flip for each side. Didn't quite stick the landing, that last one, but that's okay. He landed the dunk.
Anything you can do, Grabo can do better, as his incredible vertical leap soared over a volunteer and in between the legs, finishing with a yam that earned him straight 10s. A pumped-up B. Ruff was under pressure, but this showman lives for the moment, and he went between the legs over two volunteers to earn straight 9s. But near perfect ain't good enough against Grabo, let me tell you. He maintained his perfect final with a gorgeous off-the-bounce, under both legs dunk that left me straight speechless. The no-gravity show ended when he cleared a volunteer standing on a chair to complete one of the best performances ever on the World Tour Final.
Dawaj Polska! Let's go!
The Pole goes home $3,000 richer and holds the Duncan crown in 2021.
Welcome to the world of 3x3. Today we're taking you behind the scenes of a FIBA 3x3 World Tour event, and while you thought you were going to see a ball game, nah, this is a whole urban culture festival. Let me show you. So I said that we can play 3x3 events anywhere, right? Shopping malls and city centers, even at a shrine. And here we are today by the sea in Saudi Arabia for the World Tour Final. I'm here with FIBA 3x3 head of events, Ignacio Soriano. There's no better person to ask this question to, so I'll do it. Can we really have 3x3 events anywhere? And if so, how do we do it?
You said it. We can. We've played in amazing venues all around the world, different continents, different countries. Our ecological footprint basically is so small that allows us to play anywhere. This is a temporary venue, so you come here in 2 days and there's absolutely anything, no? Whenever we can, we use electric vehicles, we reuse the banners. Here's a very good example because these offices are containers and they were coming from the F1 and they are going to Dakar. So basically there's no carbon footprint impact in our events and we want to keep it neutral.
If you think this venue looks good during the day, wait until you see this place at night under the lights.
Yesterday we had full bleachers. We got more people waiting outside to come and watch the game inside. We're lucky to have a mega screen outside so people could have seen all the matches. They couldn't watch it inside.
We take basketball to the public and we are open to all the families, not only basketball fans. And that's why we're not only offering basketball, we're offering a full entertainment program.
Our events are more than just sporting events. They are authentic urban culture festivals, and it starts right here at the DJ booth where we get nonstop music every single game. We usually say that World Tour events are 2/3 sports, 1/3 entertainment, and this brings an entirely new audience to 3x3.
People started to get more and more interested about 3x3, and yesterday we made history by having a first woman 3x3 basketball game, the final, in front of all those fans. So amazing, amazing.
And when they're here, fans aren't just passively watching games, they actually get to go on the court, shoot some, win prizes. They even get to vote on the best dunker, all from a simple app on their phone.
We can see the awareness of 3x3 been a success, and we're looking forward to even promote the sport more.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this behind the scenes tour is officially over with. Our World Tour events are really one of a kind. So if you haven't joined the movement yet, what you waiting for?
Finalists Lehman and Gagarin have had a strong rivalry over the years, and it heated up recently with the Russians winning a thriller in Mexico City, only for the Serbs to hit back on day one. Lehman were aiming to win their first title in 2021 and first ever World Tour final, while this was the unpredictable Gagarin's first final of the World Tour since 2018. In a sign of things to come, Stefan Kojic started fast as Lehman were out to erase their nightmare of 12 months ago, remember. With star Alexander Zverev quiet, Stanislav Sharov took over as Gagarin had no stage fright. But this just seemed to wake up Kojic, who went bang bang as he dueled with Sharov. The Russian was feeling it, but he lacked support and Lehman would pounce. Lehman marched towards the title on a 7-2 run with Kojic unstoppable before Nebojša Kilian killed off Gagarin to start off a celebration the Serbs have been waiting a long time for.
Their 9th win comes at the game's biggest stage, and the right to call themselves the best in the game here in 2021, oh, that belongs to one team. They got Lehman across their chest.
Don't count us never out. We have extra motivation because everyone will count us out, and thank you guys for that.
Kojic was the hero with a game-high 11 points, while teammate and Olympic bronze medalist Mihailo Vasic was named MVP after finishing #1 in player value and #2 in points. Going home $60,000 richer, they rewrote their 2021 season during an epic stretch of 2 days and buried the ghost of Jeddah forever. Lehman win their first ever World Tour title for the competition's 10th edition. First off at #5, from Zverev's dime to Chiburkin's finish, Gagarin out here going gaga in Jeddah. In at #4, Stefan Kojic may look like he's always just out of bed, but he's the one sending Shake to sleep on this Tissot buzzer beater for the win.
Peace sign! We out of here! Ball game! Tissot buzzer beater, courtesy of the killer, Stefan Kojic. He just took all of the air out of the sails of Shake Gubale.
Third up, come here for the Miezes Cross, stay for the Las Manas Tissot buzzer beater. How many times have we seen this movie?
You cannot leave the best player in the game wide open like that, or he's gonna close the door on you. Lights out, Las Manis, as he puts it away from 2 range.
At number 2, you know King West wasn't gonna finish this season without giving us one last major throwdown. Taking out the top spot once again, it's Pelacoco Hernandez, who made the rim enter a concussion protocol in Jeddah on a Fernandez dime, genius like GZA. After an Olympic year, no one in 3x3 will ever forget. Some R&R is needed. But we'll see y'all in 2022. I promise. This is gonna be even bigger and better than ever before. Remember, you can always follow 3x3WT on FIBA 3x3 social media channels on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch.